here we go. So, ready to
Yeah.
record. So, today I'm here with, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Eva. That's how I call myself for the last
Perfect.
six
And
years.
so, like in the previous recordings, we're going to talk a little bit about Eva's journey into punk
hmm
and how it all started, or the kind of your background in this, and right up to the current day, and some of the good things and bad things, challenges, changes, whatever you feel. So, if you could just maybe tell us a little bit about your origin in punk story.
Yeah, yeah. It's good. It's good to put the context. I think about my life. I was born in early '80s in Venezuela, South America. I came from a family of people who like have to escape for different reasons from the dictatorship in Chile, the Pinochet dictatorship
Yeah.
back in Chile from the 1973 to 1989. So my family went there at the end of the 70s. So yeah, I was born there, but my parents are from Chile. I was born and I live in a kind of a bit like Tim Burtonish city or like community because my dad was working a paper factory
Right.
really close to the sea. Um, all the workers live around the factory. So it was like a small city with like 200 families living around this factory.
Wow.
And around this factory was like on one side was the sea, like tropical sea. And on the other side was like jungle, like real
Wow.
jungle with crocodiles and monkeys and spiders and
Wow.
snakes and python and everything. So I grew up there in this kind of um, yeah, kind of like really small city or community where everyone know each other. So it's like a film, like everyone go. We have a school, we have a little hospital, we
Wow.
have like a pub, we have supermarket. Um, so I grew up there. I was born there and grew up. I stayed there till I was 7 years old, kind of about yeah. Um, and my first memory is like my dad has used to have like records, mostly like Caribbean music, like salsa, merengue,
Yeah.
cumbia, stuff like that. And my house was always really loud. There was always music on the record player. There was always people visiting us, or we going somewhere. But music was always there because this is a small city. Everyone knew each other basically, so everyone hung out a lot. So the way to hang out was visiting someone else and make party with
Yeah.
and play music with vinyls. But the music was really, yeah, kind of more like Latin America
Yeah.
traditional stuff,
Yeah.
mostly cumbia. That was my first connection with music. Um, Seeing people enjoying the music, seeing people dancing to music, and um, it was a bit strange because I didn't understand why people were dancing with the music, but I started like enjoying seeing people dancing with it. Like so that was something that I feel like I really enjoy seeing people having fun listening to something.
So kind of sort of identifying or appreciating the kind of free embodied movement
Yeah,
of it. And you could
yeah,
see
exactly.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like the connection that I saw with music with all this community was so pure and so like real.
Yeah.
They know like their dance match with the music rhythm and so I still remember my dad singing some lyrics, my mom singing some lyrics, seeing my parents dancing together in the lounge or something, singing all the songs. So that was my first approach to music, to very local music. So it's South American music
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Um, and then after that, well, my family decided to come back to Chile in 1989 when the dictatorship finished, or let's say officially finished, when the military left the power and gave to the Democrats in Chile. So, and that was a really big change in my life, because moving from this like paradise where I was living for 7 years, moving to a city in Chile where the weather was different, when the people behavior was different, where the dynamics are different. Living in a city that is, it was like millions of people. I moved to the capital, to Santiago.
Yeah.
Living there was a shock. So I kind of lost the contact with that dynamic and that connection with music. Even my parents still making parties every weekend at home. It was something missing. It was something like I couldn't understand why we were here now in Santiago. And for many years, I don't have any memories about music, about listening music, about feeling any connection with music. I think the only music I remember was like this kind of music for kids, like,
Right.
you know, like kind of like TV show making a cassette
Yeah.
with the song. It was really horrible. I didn't enjoy that. I never felt connected with that anyway. So
It's interesting listening to you speak about that, because I don't know if you agree with me or not, but already for me, it's like you're talking about the context of listening, right?
mm,
No, and I always think about that in terms of, for me at least, in terms of punk and music
mm,
like that. It's always from the context in which you listen is so important. The other
mm,
people around you, because it's never. I mean, it's partly an individual process, but it's always something more than that. You know, it's just where you are, who you're with, and everyone is the kind of. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but the context is always a big thing, I think. And going
yeah,
maybe from Venezuela to returning to Chile, there's some, like you said, something lost, but I'm not sure if that's kind of, you know, makes sense.
yeah. The context of someone who live abroad and come back to uh, not come back, but going to live in a different country when you're a kid is quite isolated. I really feel really alienated when I was there.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't have many memories about when I arrived to Chile until I start to choose the music I want to listen.
Right.
That's I think it's like you say, it's about the context where I was listening. Because back in Venezuela, the music I was listening, the content was just like having fun and
Yeah.
being community. But in Chile, I didn't feel that when I was a kid. I was a really lonely kid.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time alone, reading, but not listening much music. And then also respond to how it was at the moment, because I wasn't interested to discover any music. And I was like, well, the only music I have is like TV show soundtrack that I didn't like them. So it's like, or music my family listened during parties at home, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Even if it was the same type of music, the feeling I got from them, it wasn't the same. It wasn't like something was missing.
Yeah.
Probably because the city was much bigger. I didn't have that feel of community there.
Yeah.
And then when I was about 10 or 11, my brother, who was listening a lot of music at the moment, my older brother, but he was more into like Latin music. You
Yeah.
know, it was like, and sometimes listen a bit of rock and punk. And he has some tapes there, some cassette, like a pretty good collection of cassette, like 100 or something. And
Wow.
he has some music there. And yeah, he once invited me, say, "Oh, you want to listen to some stuff? You just grab whatever you want." So okay, cool. And I found the first cassette I discovered was Green Day and La Polla Records.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
That was the first thing I just choose because I really liked the artwork of it, like the cover,
Yeah.
like the Green Day. I think it was the first one, second one, can't remember. And the La Polla Records. I think it was El No Somos Nada.
Right.
So I saw the cover. I was really like, "Whoa, what's this?" You know. It's like many people tell quite the same story. Like, wow, what the fuck is this drawing? So I just listen music. I listen the lyric was like, oh, this is fun. Do you know what I mean? This is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this is fun music. You know, it's like something totally different for what I was listening till that moment. I think. Yeah, that was the main band I was listening then for a bit. You know, a bit of metal as well, like Slayer,
yeah,
Metallica. You know, the big names of
yeah,
metal.
sure.
Nothing like that. And then my family decided uh, to have like I don't know how you call it here, but like a cable TV.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I think in England, yeah, they call it cable TV.
Yeah, it was. It used to be like when you have access to international channels, basically.
Sure, yeah, of
You
course.
know, and it
Yeah,
was like Chile, 1994, 1995. So it was something. It was something big to have access to like
of course.
MTV or Cartoon Network stuff. So I spent a lot of time in front of the TV watching Cartoon Network, but also in the night watching MTV. So
Yeah,
that's how I started discovering music, like names, like different, like Nirvana, like yeah, like I used to watch a lot, like late in the night, because it was like more video clips, and I always like the video clips, and like I feel really like interest about any type of video clips. And so I remember about 11 p.m. I was just sitting on the sofa alone watching MTV. Like it was like random video clips from hundred of bands. I would say for like 2 or 3 hours just watching. And then I start to like taking notes of some bands or stuff, but I didn't have access how to find records of this band.
yeah,
So because my brother was a bit, yeah, he was studying, he was in uni, he didn't have much time. My friends that my same age were not like interested in music at all. They just want to play football and I don't know, going outside.
yeah, yeah. Was it do you know if there was like record like places that were selling vinyl and stuff? Like was it easy
Yeah,
to access stuff around that time in Chile?
I have. Yeah, I think the first approach I have with the physical records was I was trying to find Rage Against the Machine,
Yeah, yeah.
Evil Empire tape.
Wow.
And my mom took me to the record shop. It was like a big, like a Virgin store or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Like a random music. I was like, "Do you have this tape?" And it was like, "Yeah, I have this tape." Um, but yeah, that was the first thing I was saw. Like, oh, there's a place where you can find music, where you can buy your music.
I guess that's kind of pretty political Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, but I have no idea what it was. You know, I didn't have no idea what they were talking about. You know,
You just like the sound of it.
I just like the cover with this person like yellow color with
Yeah.
Rage Against, and a lot of people was listening, so I was like, oh, this might be cool. So like, yeah. But in some way, my taste in music was a bit connected with politics. I
Yeah.
probably was conscious or something because it was more interesting, like visually, all the covers and the artwork of it. And one day after that, my older brother took me to visit one of his friends from uni. This guy lived alone in a flat. He was like 20, 25 years old, and I was like 12. So we went there, just hanging out. You know, I was a kid. I was just saying, not saying much. And this person, Nico, he told me, okay, you're going to go with me to my room to check my music, and you're going to listen two bands, two records, and you're going to tell me which one you like the most. And I was like, yeah, cool. So the first record was, can't remember the record, I know the band, Judas Priest.
Yeah, of course.
You
Yeah.
know, we listened the whole album and we just sitting in the bed, just like, yeah. He gave me like some biscuit and stuff, like juice, just to then me was like an hour just sitting there. And then he played another one, it was like the Cramps.
Wow.
And he showed me the tape because he has like original tapes with the full color, artwork. It was really hard to find in early 90s in Chile. So, and I was like, and then he asked me like, okay, what do you like? I said, I like the Cramps. I like that band. I was like, okay, all right. So he said, okay, I'm going to show you more music now. And he started like punk, not even like rockabilly or garage. He was like, this is like punk. I was
Nice.
like, okay. So he showed me the Ramones, the Misfits, the Kennedys, Bad Brains,
Wow.
Silverbergs, Black Flag, all the Americans band,
Yeah.
Sex Pistols, the Clash. So he made me a mixtape to take home. So I went home, and then he asked me, like, I think a few days after, he just called my mom's house and said, okay, which band do you like the most? So I said, the Ramones and the Misfits. So I said, okay, come back next week. I'm going to make you a copy of some record of them. So for like a few months, I was going to his house every once a week just to make copies of cassette.
Amazing.
Yeah. I was like 12 years old taking the bus after school, just like alone and going back home late at night. And I remember one of those nights, I get stuck. I don't know why, I don't know how, but the bus to take me back home just like broke down. And there was no more buses. I was like in the middle of a street, like 20 minutes far from home or something. Or like, oh shit. And I managed to call my mom, to call to my parents' house on the phone. It was like, I'm here. I don't know where I am. Can you come pick me up? So I was like a lonely kid of the night, just waiting, like, using the phone, the public phone or something.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, okay, just wait there. Where are you? I said, here, I don't know the street. I managed to know the location. And I was waiting there with a bag, my backpack with like 10 or 20 tapes. And one person came to me and like, who want to rob me.
Wow.
Yeah. He was like, he just like pushed me and said, what do you have in your bag? Like, give me your bag and stuff. So like, well, there you go. Like I was like panicking. I was like, yeah, to my backpack. And I remember he opened the backpack. It was just full of tape and just put on the floor. I was like, fucking stupid kid. You have just tape. And he just left.
He had no taste.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, okay, he just threw a cassette on it. And he just left. And then my mom picked me up. I was shaking, because it was like, fuck's sake. And I think that moment was like really like important in my life, because I just think about that. I realize how important is music for some people and for others it's not.
Sure. It's a really, really good, interesting story. Definitely.
So it's like, I didn't thought about that. I was just scared. But right now, talking about this is like that. It's just like, oh, this guy didn't like it. He don't care about cassette because he didn't make any money. But I love this music. If he took it, I was just like so upset about it. But he didn't, because he never liked it. So like, okay, some people don't like music and some people love music. So I took kind of the side of music, who people love the music. And then, but yeah, I started collecting, but most of the time, I think I didn't share music with people.
Yeah.
I was a really lonely kid. So my life was wake up, go to school, come back home, listen to music, make my homework. That's it.
Yeah.
So for a couple of years, I was just spending every day listening to cassettes or CDs if I have a chance. And then, yeah, I started to buy some music because I was like, oh, I want to have the original because I love the artwork. So in Chile, we have this kind of classified ads newspaper. I thought that.
Yeah.
Like kind of like an eBay, but newspaper. And I found one guy in this newspaper who was selling vinyls of punk music. He put like The Clash, Ramones, this is my phone number, call me if you're interested. Well, like, yeah, I was like 13 years old.
Wow.
I just called this guy, arranged to go, and I went to visit this guy in a random house.
What?
I was like a kid. I was like, okay, I just go. I have like £10. And he's like, yeah, come in. So like, it's a massive collection. It was like, I don't know, 100 records. Were like, and he was like, okay, how much you have? At £10. Okay, you can give you two for 10. Okay. So I got the Ramones, two of the Ramones. The first, the Ramones and the Rocket Russia.
Wow.
So I just went home. I didn't check the record. It was like shit condition. It was like good condition or something. So I just like, okay, I just listening, and I didn't even have a record player. So I went to my brother's friends to listen the album and make a
Wow.
copy and then come back home. And that's how I started listening music and like really being interested to find more, to know more about some bands. And I get really, really obsessed with the Ramones and the Misfits, like really obsessed.
So
Like,
so when did you I mean, did you go to a show before you started playing music or
no. I went to concerts, not to gigs. If
yeah,
you know that
yeah,
makes sense. I went to like big gigs,
yeah,
like during those years between 12, 11, and 13, 14. I went to see The Offspring,
yeah.
Green Day, La Polla Records. I went to see Slayer.
Wow.
Um, all these gigs was because my brother could take me because I
Yeah.
was like underage, so I couldn't go. So my brother told me, "Oh, La Polla Records is playing next month." Well, like, okay, I'll go with you. Because also I was visiting some record shops in the city center, so you can see the posters and see, oh, there's Misfits playing next month. Well, like, yeah. So yeah, I was going to like these big gigs, like 5,000 people or something, and that was amazing. And sometimes my brother couldn't take me because he was working or something. So my brother's friend came home, picked me up, take me to a gig late in the night, bring me back home. I was like, okay, bye.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, that's fine.
That's cool.
She was like music. You like to listen to music. Because I wasn't going out. You know what I mean? All my friends were like trying to date girls or boys, and I was just like, no, I want to be in my room. I want to listen. I want to listen to my records. So I started like collecting more music. I have like 50 or 60 tapes already. So I'm like, yeah, this is my safe space as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then was my another friend of my brother. My older brother is a really important person for me.
Right.
If you can see.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, he like introduced me to music basically and to go out. So there was another friend of his, who lived like on the same street with my family and where my family live. And yeah, he sometimes borrowed some tapes or recorded. I was much interested with the music he was listening, to be honest, because it was like, like indie type of stuff.
Yeah.
And he knew that I love punk. So he make a copy for me of Los Crudos
Mm-hmm.
discography.
Yeah. Amazing.
And he make a copy of Fun People and
Yeah. Yeah.
Stays from Argentina.
Yeah.
He make a copy of both records. I was like, wow, like this is different. This is like hardcore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know. This is he said this is like hardcore punk, and this is like underground. And he borrowed like a fanzine, a magazine, like independent magazine with interview of this band and other independent band. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like there's like people who play music, who release record, who are like kind of living underground, like where these people live, you know what I mean? Where these people play. So I managed to found, because I was going to record store in the city center. So I found one independent record store who this guy was selling like punk, DIY underground punk and hardcore music. So I went there once. I was like, oh shit, I don't know these bands, you know what I mean? And he had all these posters on the wall and fancy and stuff. So I was like, oh, I didn't understand, but I kind of, in some way, I did, because I knew that all this music, all these tapes, were made by people who have been living next door to me. You know, so I understand the concept, but I didn't know how to get into that. So I went to this shop that is called Voz Propia in Santiago, in Chile. So I saw this poster. I was like, oh, there's so many bands. All these gigs are happening soon, probably. So I started taking notes of the posters, you know, all the bands and the date. And this guy was like, what you do? I just taking notes. Oh, shit, okay. And then I asked him, can I buy a magazine, like an independent magazine or fanzine? We're like, yeah, sure. What do you want? I want something local, like from here. Do you have something? He gave me one fanzine called Nuevo Extremo. He was like really active in the 90s in Santiago. And one more, it was like a skateboard magazine or something, right, with music articles. So yeah, I bring this home. I start reading this fanzine, Nuevo Extremo, and I start noticing all these, the interviews. They have all the addresses of the band.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I start writing to send a letter to these guys, you know, who live in the same country, in the same city. I was like, oh, hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. I want to, like, can I get a tape? Where are you playing a gig? And I think no one replied to me. I don't remember. I had
oh, no.
So I'm like, well, it's fine. And then I checked the list of this band and stuff on the venues that I took note in this record shop. And I was really excited. So I came back to my brother's friend and I was like, oh, look, all this gear are happening soon with all this band. And he was like, which bands? All this list. Where you got this list? Yeah, this guy in this record shop have like a full of poster on the wall. And he was like, babe, these bands are from States.
Oh.
Are from United States or like UK. All this gig, like CBGB is not here. I was like, oh no, I was like living the dream of, like, I don't know, I can see Black Flag, or I will see like Minor Threat in the 90s, you know? So like, fucking hell. And he said, like, and this friend Felipe, he said, oh, so you want to go to underground gigs? So I'm like, yeah, like, I want to see these bands, you know, like from this fancy. I was like, okay, cool. And he took me to a DIY punk gig in the same district I was living, like a few weeks after, where I saw some of the underground bands. I didn't know about them.
How old were you at this point?
How
old were you at this point?
I was about 13, 14.
Wow, that must have been so exciting.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then, you know, I started to see like punks, like different style of clothes as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is like 1995. So every gig, like every DIY gig, was like everyone went there, like hardcore, ska, skinhead, punks. You go to a gig, all these like tribes were there, like
mixing together.
See, like big mohawk, or guy with a skateboard, or like skinhead, you know, like. So yeah, I started going to a few gigs like that, like by myself. I didn't know anyone. And then in 1997, I think, went to see Los Crudos and Fan People in Santiago.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like my first like big DIY gig.
Is that a game changer for you?
Yeah, that was like what? I remember we went to a gig and the gig was canceled. But it was just postponed like 3 days after. So we're like, okay, fuck. And then come back to a gig. And I was listening already, Fan People and Los Crudos, you know, because I had my tape. So yeah, I was like there. It was like 500 people. And there was a merch table that was really also important for me. Like seeing a merch table with tapes, fanzine, like patches of the same band, and the same band selling this stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, I couldn't understand what was that, but in some way I knew what's happening. Like I was like, oh, these people is like playing the music, but also selling the stuff, and I can talk to them. I was like, oh shit, well, this is great. You know what I mean? I was like, this is amazing. You know, this like I can be friends with these people. You know, I can play music. That's where the point. That gig was for me was like I can play an instrument. You know, I can. Maybe in the future I would play in a band, or maybe in the future I would like put a gig.
Yeah.
You know, so that gig of Los Crudos and Fun People was like, yeah, like breaking point. Like, okay, I can do it by myself, basically.
And was it, how long was it after then did you actually try and start or did start making music or being in a band?
I was always, and since there, I was playing. I started playing bass
Oh,
because
right.
my yeah, my brother has a bass at home. I don't know from where he got a really shitty bass, so I started playing, and I was just learning by myself. I was just like listening the Ramones and the Mitzi and trying to recognize the note and going back and just playing. So I kind of learned like by myself, like, oh yeah, this is not hard, because and then I realized the verse is the same in the same song after. So like, oh fuck, this is so good. And then after that, I was about 15 years old. I wasn't doing really well, like with my mental health at the moment. And my family decided to move to another city, like a smaller city. So we moved to Chillán. That is a city about 500 kilometers from the capital, Santiago.
Right.
So we moved there, like a random city. Like I think my granddad is connected with the city, but we didn't know anyone. Like we didn't have any friends. My family didn't know anyone there. There was no family living there. So we're like, yeah, let's go there. I was 15, and yeah, I was, yeah. We moved just like 2 weeks before start like the school year.
Right.
So everything was really fast. Like, okay, we move next month. You start new school. You have
Wow.
to like, okay, cool. So we moved there, and then started school. And I was extra age at the moment. I was like, no drink, no smoke,
Yeah. Yeah.
no alcohol, no drugs, nothing. I was really into extra age stuff. And I have in my backpack that I used to go to school, I have my straight age like tag. But
Yeah.
also have like Los Crudos patch in the back. So I remember the second day at school, I was just there, take my backpack, go for like the break in between classes. So I went to a garden. I didn't know anyone. I went to the backyard while I just sitting there alone. It's like, and then some random boy is like, "Hey, oh, you're strange. You like Los Crudos?" Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, we two were like, just come here. So we're like, just took me to a place in the back. There were like 10 boys. Were like, this is our group. Okay, cool. So what's your name? What's your name? What do you like to listen? Like, oh, there are models. Oh yeah, me too. So we became friends basically. So I make friends at school.
Oh, that's good.
You know, I just like inside the second day at school, I have my group of friends.
Already creating links in the community for you.
Yeah, yeah. And then we were like, we hanging out when the school finished at 1:30. I remember 1:30 p.m. We just hang out outside the school until like 3 or 4 p.m. Just talking, just like being silly, you know, just like trading music or going to this boy's house to listen music. Or you want to trade this, you want to trade that, you want to trade like that. And then one of these guys say, "Oh, we have a band. We're looking for another vocalist, like because we have one, but we don't have two. So like, you want to play? You want to sing? You know how to sing? I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. So they invited me to play in his band.
Amazing.
That was my first band. It was really random. Like, yeah, I can do it. So we practiced the day after, and they say, okay, maybe just play a cover, like just play a cover, Fun People cover. I'm like, yeah, that's good. It was our favorite band for everyone. Like Fun People, Los Cruz. That's all we listen for, like always. And there was like, yeah, let's play once. Fun People. We're like, yeah, we play. I was screaming there, and I fucking lost my voice because I never screamed in my life before. So I was screaming so loud, trying to impress, trying to like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm cool, And I lost my voice. I couldn't sing for like 2 weeks or so.
I bet it felt like so exciting though at that moment.
Yeah.
Like just doing it and being around other people and just like it must have felt really good. I just remember when I was like, I don't know, my first band was, I think I was 13 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being both simultaneously super excited and super nervous at the same time.
Yeah.
And you have the adrenaline kicks in and you're just like, you just,
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know. You don't control yourself because you just want to like just go crazy. So I went nuts, and then we have our first gig. It was like second gig for the band was the first gig for me singing, and we play 6 songs, 3 songs of us and 3 covers. Wow, of course, Fun People of Screws. Yeah, I was 15, 16 years old. Yeah, I was like in a culture center, really small venue. And we put that gig. That's something also that happened that day. That we said let's organize a gig. So we rent the space. Was like £10 a night, and we bring small amps like 10 watts Marshall or something. One for guitar, one for bass, one for vocal, and like a drum kit with no amps, no backline, nothing.
yeah,
It sounded like horrible. We like that was my first approach to like DIY.
yeah,
And like doing something with your friends
yeah,
together for the
yeah,
music, for punk.
yeah.
Yeah, we played the first gig, and my brother was there actually. My older brother was there. That was
Amazing.
really nice. I still remember like screaming the song and so to the people, and he was like in the back, just like, yeah. They were like, yeah, okay, cool. Um, and yeah, and since that day when I played my first gig with this band, everything was like just exploded. Everything like we start putting gigs once a week, once a month in this really small city. We start bringing bands from different cities to visit our small city. We start like having like sending letters to different part of the world to connect
Amazing.
with other bands. Uh, I start my first distro. We start my first record label with a friend. I start designing the poster, because I was the only one with a laptop or like a computer at home. I would start doing collage, like how to make a poster. I start hosting bands in my house, my parents' house. I bring these bands day for night tonight in my parents' house and then play a gig. And I start to traveling as well to other cities to play crazy stories. Uh, yeah, and I'm talking about a kid 15 till 17 years old. So I was a child, what I mean? I was just like putting gigs, doing all this when I was like 16, 17 years old, like with no access to internet, with no access to big backlines or big like budgets or everything. We say, okay, all the money we made for the gigs for you guys. Well, like, we didn't keep any money and stuff. So
So when was the first time you kind of moved away from Chile?
mm, like when I was an adult, when I was good, yeah. You mean when I left Chile?
Yeah, sorry,
I
sorry.
forgot.
Later on, sorry. Yeah, when you so
Yeah,
after getting into the bands, that's what I meant to say. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to. I left Chile like 10 years ago.
So okay, so you stayed in you was in Chile for a lot, quite a long period
Yeah,
of time,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. I kind of grew up in there. Grew up.
so and so you had been in. I imagine you've been in quite a lot of bands in Chile then.
Yeah, yeah. Not many, but yeah. I was doing this band when I was 17, and then my family decided again moving back to the capital.
Oh, wow.
So I was like doing really well. Have my band, have my friend. They were like, "No, we're going back to Santiago." I was like, "Fuck's sake!"
Oh man.
That was like that was like bad for my mental health. It was horrible. It was like, but at the same time, I have still contact with people.
That's good.
Bands from Santiago who went to play to Chillán, to the small city. I knew them. So when I moved to Santiago, I keep in touch with them. So I called them, you want to hang out? I said, yeah, there is a gig tomorrow. It was like, yeah, cool. So I started like socialize a bit with this, like in a bigger city, and start to get involved more in the punk community in Santiago. And then the same dynamic. I was in a gig with my t-shirt, with my backpack, and one guy said, "Oh, I play in a band. We're looking for a singer. You want to sing?" I was like, "Yeah, cool," because he knew that I was singing in this tiny, small town band. Because friend of a friend told him, so like, yeah, and they were like, "Yeah, cool." And then I started my first band in Santiago. It's called Altercado. I didn't start the band. I was like a jump into the band.
Right.
Because they needed vocals. And they needed vocals to record their first album. And I never record my live. So I was like 2 months playing the band. I said, okay, we're going to record a record now. These are the lyrics. Everything was done. And we're going to record like in 2 weeks. You need to learn these lyrics. We're going to the studio. That was my first experience in the studio recording. I was like, so it's just, yeah, we record this record, like 15 songs or something. We did a few gigs there. Yeah, we do a few gigs in Chile. We travel different cities. I was just doing the band. I wasn't involved in the community. I wasn't doing much more activism or like distro putting gig. I was the singer of this band because I was a bit disappointed of the community as well. So, and I was dealing with my own problems, like a teenager,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, after like a year, I quit the band. And in some way, I quit like punks for like many, many years.
Right.
I was burnt out. I was a bit tired how sometimes the punk community is really mind closed to other styles of music, of art, of mostly like sounds or like, I was a kid. I was just like really curious about other different music, like I want to listen. I don't know. I want to listen like Placebo or something.
Sure.
Or like,
yeah, of course.
Like Pulp. But I can be a punk still. Some people don't understand it when in that time. So I was like a bit like, I want to go to a club and dance like 80s new wave music. But also I want to play in a band. So I started having problems with people inside the community. I was like, fuck this. I don't want to play in a band anymore. So for like 6-7 years, I just quit any band. I wasn't going to gigs. Sometimes it was like random gigs or like, but still, my mind was there. Still, I wanted to play in a band. I still wanted to be part of like group of people for the same cause, for the same reason.
Yeah. So would you say like you still had a strong connection to the DIY ethic and
Yeah,
the music, but it was just the closed-mindedness of the scenes
yeah,
around you that kind of made you feel restricted or constrained or limited in
yeah,
expression.
yeah, exactly. And at the same time, when I was like quit punk for saying some way in early 2000, I was also exploring my gender, and I was having like my first thought about gender dysphoria, and so I want to explore myself a bit more.
Yeah.
So I feel like there is another communities where I could do that.
Yeah.
And because I didn't know anything about like trans punk musicians or gay musicians in punk community. I knew a few, but it wasn't something I felt connected, like local. So I kind of moved to another community, more like queer, more like pop, more like alternative, kind of indie. So I spent there a few years just exploring myself for other people. And then I started a project, like a folk project.
Right.
By myself in 2006. So I was like, okay, I want to play music again. And yeah, this like for project, for a few gigs in Santiago, I was in Santiago, and then this song that I was like singing by myself became a band. Like I invite like a drummer, I was like, you want to play? I was like, yeah. My friend, I was like a guitar player, I was like, yeah, I can play. I was like, oh shit, I got a band now.
Amazing.
I mean, Chad is good, you know. Like I didn't plan it, so we have this band was called Costa Rica, like the country, and we played for about 8 months. Didn't last much, and yeah, and then when the band broke up, I was really really disappointed, really upset, and I took a step as well. Again, a step like to the side about playing another band. So I was like, all this effort because someone don't want to play. So like, well, I was still going to gigs. I was still going to underground gigs. I was still part of the community, but I didn't want to play.
Yeah.
I was a bit tired of the dynamics, put in a band, put so much effort, start a band, you know, make songs. I start growing and then just collapse.
Yeah.
That was kind of the dynamic during all my life and my experience with playing with people. And then for many years, I was doing different stuff. I wasn't doing music at all for about, let's say that was 2008, 9. Sorry. Yeah, for about 4 or 5 years, I didn't make any music. I would start like exploring different art.
Yeah.
I get into like theater. I was doing like mime.
Amazing.
And puppets. I was doing illustrations.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was like for 5 years. I quit a bit with the bands. I was like, I don't want to play in a band anymore because it's too much effort. And then, yeah, for like 5 years, I was doing different other things, but involved with art, you know, like involved with stage, like like performance, you know. So I
was that kind of, I guess,
yeah, I
unique
always miss it.
expression.
I miss it all the time. So
Yeah.
I was doing mime for 4 years, puppet theater for kids.
Super interesting.
Yeah, I was. I traveled. That was my first time I traveled to Europe because they saw my mime performance online, something like that. Some like theater festival in Poland invite me. So like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like that was my first time I came here. And then yeah, I was trying to survive, to be honest. Like in a country like Chile, it was really really hard to do art and not make a living of the art. If not, like try not to like sell your soul to a job and being so tired of this job that you don't have the energy to do something else. It was really hard working years for me. Like I was working in an office, and then after work I was doing all this stuff basically. And then I quit my job just to do this stuff. And I was like, fuck, I can't do this. And that was the moment when I was invited to Europe for this theater festival. So I came here That was 2014, 2013. And I saw all these people, doing art, like living with this, like traveling with it. Not even playing music, just doing mime. So it's like really niche kind of art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing puppet theater. And I was like, how you do this? And then I come back to Chile. Quite inspired, but really depressed of my situation in Chile at the moment, because I didn't have a job. I was living with my brother for a while. And then the year after, I got invited to going back to Europe again for another festival, for another theater festival. And I came back to Europe. It was mad because all these people promoting invite me and they pay me everything.
Wow.
They pay you the flight, they pay you accommodation, food, and plus they pay you. So like my second time Europe, living that like an artist's dream. And when I was here in 2015, when I came to this festival second time, I went to visit the Dial House.
Right. Yeah.
CRASS, where CRASS used to live.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go there all my life. So I went there because I wanted to meet Penny and G Boucher from CRASS. So like, yeah. So I went there. I just knocked the door and they were not there. Just a random person came inside the house like, hello. I was like, yeah, I came to see Penny and John. No, they're on holiday. They were like, damn it. They were like, oh yeah, they're on holidays. All right, cool. Show me the house, show a bit of story. And it was like, okay, I need to go back to where I was staying. When I was going back from the Dial House, just to put a context, the Dial House is located in it's like the middle of nowhere. It's like near a small village where you need to walk like half an hour from the closest shop, the closest house. So when I was walking all the way from Dial House to where I was staying, I was like, I make a promise to myself that I'm not going back to Chile. I will do art. I'm going to start music again. I'm not going back. Like, this is like life or death decision. Like, I'm going to stay here. I don't know how. I'm going to stay here. Oh, well, I'm still here.
Wow.
So I'm still here 10 years after that. That was like, yeah, that was October 2015. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess the next bit is the little story from that moment on then, right? I guess the next part is the story from then onwards.
Oh yeah, that was like I was at the Europe chapter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was like, yeah, I'm not going back. And they were like, and I didn't come back to Chile. I mean, I going back sometime to visit my family, but I never lived there again.
Wow.
Because everything started working out, because I was really sure that I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to live there. And I want to do what I want to do. I want to experience art, because I saw these people living in this house for like 40 years or more. And they were still doing it. So I was like, I can do it as well, I think. And then I live in Poland for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different story. And then when I was I lived there for 2 years and a half. And because I didn't have a job, I didn't have a office work or routine. I was living basically off my savings, selling my books back in Chile. I was doing workshops as well, like teaching mimes technique or puppet technique for 2 years. So I was like freelance artist. And I started playing music again at that moment when I was living there. Nice. I think it was the beginning of Traidora, I would say.
Really?
Yeah, that was like me recording guitar at home with the drum machine. that was like, yeah, that was like 10 years ago or something.
Was
I
it a sort
still
of,
have some song recorded from there. Yeah,
is it
it
sort of
was like,
similar sort of style?
no, it was like I was listening a lot more like melodic stuff, like what's the name of this band? From Spain. Oh, I can't remember. I'm gonna try to find, but it's more like melodic punk,
Yeah.
trance.
Oh yeah. They're from
Yeah, yeah,
Ibiza? Maybe.
trance from Spain.
Yeah, I think so. Trying to see.
Yeah, from Mallorca.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
I was listening a lot to them like 10 years ago. I was like, I started doing like time kind of and with drum machine recording and stuff, but never get anywhere because I just keep the recording in my laptop, and then because of my work, I started tattooing as well. So I was doing a bit of everything, but tattooing was something I really wanted to do all my
Yeah.
life. So because I migrated to a new country. And I was doing this artist freelance lifestyle for a couple of years, so I have a lot of time free. So I decided to learn tattooing.
Wow.
Well, so I learned tattooing by myself at the beginning, and then I moved to UK because I found studio. A studio offered me a job, like a place to work here in England.
Whereabouts? Where was that in the UK?
That was in Brighton.
In Brighton. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that was in Brighton, 2018, I think. And then I moved to England. And from Poland, I went to Chile for a few months and then came to England to live. I live in Brighton for 5 years. I lived there.
And were you kind of a part of the DIY punk scene while you were in Brighton?
I was like more like a spectator, like more like a audience.
Yeah.
You know, I started going to gigs more when
Yeah.
I was in Poland.
Yeah.
Because I started meeting the punks that, you know,
Cool.
if you start tattooing, you know, if you're like into activism and stuff, I was like involved in the food not bombs in Poland, helping them. So I started meeting all the punks, and I started going to their gigs as well. And then I moved to England, and I was in Brighton. I was checking. I was going to different type of gigs, like a bit bigger, a bit smaller, but I started going a lot to this place, Collie Club.
Yeah, I know the Cali Club. Yeah.
Yeah, I would start going there. So say a few bands I didn't know. I was like kind of just saying, you know how people is, you know, like not getting involved in it at all. I didn't want to because I feel like a bit shy. I was like, you know, I was a bit like, no, I just want to enjoy it. Just going there, see a band, go home, get a record. That's it. And then I start to feel it. Oh, I want to play in a band again. You know, I really want to play. I was start getting a bit jealous. You know, because I start following this band on Facebook, Instagram. You know, like they always show they're traveling, doing this, doing that, doing this. Really exciting life. I was like, oh, I was doing the same. I missed that. No, not like a nostalgic way. If not like, I just felt like I stopped doing something that I should have stopped doing it, and I wanted to keep doing it. Not because to come back to this experience in a nostalgic way. If it was more like this is who I am, you know what I mean? This is the way I like to do stuff. This is the way I want to like collaborate with people, you know. Because all this other art I was working on, like mime, puppet, tattooing, is a really, it's just you know, just you. It's just like you go here tattooing and that's it. But you're not part of like a group of people doing something. So I was missing that a lot. And then I don't know, get the chance just following this band on Instagram. I was like, oh, we're looking for vocals. It's always that. It's always the band looking for someone like, yeah, I'm here.
It's a pattern in your life, right?
Yeah, it's been like the start basically. It's like it's always been like that. That moment take me to another one. It's like the first step. It's been like always like this. It was like, yeah. So I applied. I went to the what you call the uh, audition.
Oh, wow, very formal.
Yeah, well, like audition. Like, oh, we're trying a few people. And stuff. So I sent a recording from my previous band back in Chile, and they like it. So like, okay, cool. I'm part of it. And then I started playing bands in UK.
Nice.
That was 2020, 2021, like 3, 4 years ago.
So just after the pandemic?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just after the pandemic. Yeah.
What band was that?
It was a band called Attestor.
Oh, I know. That Darren used to sing for.
Yeah, yeah, Darren and Steve
Yeah,
stuff. So
nice.
yeah. And then I played with them for a few months.
Yeah.
For a few months. Yeah. And then well, I started to get involved like in the band dynamic, basically, like, oh, we have this gig, this place, we're gonna try that, we're gonna travel to Bristol, we're gonna travel to another city, we need to practice every week. So I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is like the way I like to do stuff with people, like just hanging out, play music, talking about music. Everything is about the music, guys. Like especially when you're older. I'm in my 40s now, so I feel people my age is most of them is more relaxed about music. You can talk about any kind of music.
Yeah.
Not just punk
Yeah.
or hard. Oh, I like this record. This like strange music from I don't know somewhere. Like you feel like more comfortable. You are more sure about yourself as well, about what you like and what you know. So that is much different in the past where I felt a bit like rejected because I like different kind of music as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah. So you give me 2 minutes, 1 minute. That's okay.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. Let me just get some water, okay?
Yeah, sure, of course.
I'll be back.
No problem.
Okay. So yeah. So that was where we went. A tester.
Yeah. So you're saying you're playing some shows a bit and you've just
Yeah, we played some
committed with
shows.
it.
It was really fun. It was really, really fun. Good people. Steve is amazing. Like all this, like I feel really like support by them. Also, I was like I was feeling a bit like alienated as well because I was living in England. It's not where I was born, where I grew up.
Of course.
Also, it's a country like where I like came out as a trans woman. So it was like feeling like the punk community still was the same tolerance, to like queers or like migrants. So it felt really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I played with them for a few months, and then the band split in December, like 3 years ago, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, and then it's another pattern of like being disappointed. I was really upset when the band split.
I imagine.
the same like years ago, like. But that kind of feeling, being upset, also like is in some way could help you to like pushing forward, like pushing you to do other stuff.
Yeah.
When the band broke up, I decided I want to start a new one, but not in the same way. I'm gonna make this band. No, I'm gonna make the songs. I'm gonna play everything. I'm gonna record an album or a few songs. I'm gonna put a record. I'm gonna put a tape. I'm gonna organize the gigs. I'm gonna do everything. At the beginning. because it was like easier to get people joining me after that.
Was this when Traidora was born?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was like 3 years ago, 2 years and a half. So I was like the same, like I told you before, I was just like my room making songs, recording on a laptop. I was like really, really sure what I wanted to do, how I want to sound, how I want to look. I was really, really sure about it, like really clear about how I imagined Traidora.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I think, like I said to you in my first email, that I saw you play the first time. I think it was with Takba in
Oh
Barcelona.
yeah, you were there.
Yeah, it was
Whoa.
in a really big place, right?
I know, yeah.
Because I went to the show and it was the first time I'd been to that venue. I'd never been to that venue before.
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa, this place is really, really big. I was like, but it's a great
Dude,
show. Yeah, I remember that.
that was huge. That
Yeah.
was like my I was playing like for 3 months or something.
So early on.
3 4 months when I played at space. It was like
Yeah.
that was crazy. But I'm still sure about um this band, you know, but I think I was really convinced that this was like necessary to do. Like people are telling me sometimes that this band is really necessary to exist. Like every band, of course, but especially this one with the messages and the lyrics and. But yeah, I remember that gig. It was a really scary experience. So.
You looked comfortable. I remember you looked in your zone. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I was trying.
it was a pop. It was like a really busy show, right? It was really busy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like 400 people,
yeah. It was.
easy.
I think it was sold out. I think.
Yeah, yeah, I was sold out. Yeah, I remember I was like, someone picked me up because we have like a backstage with like buffet food. And I'm like, what's this? This is like a proper like big gig festival, or like it was like, all right. And it was like, where are you playing first? We're like, okay, that's fine, no problem. And I was like, oh, if we play first, not many people is gonna be there. No, I thought I expect like 50 people, yeah, because people started showing up. But this guy like came to my green room, like a private green room or something. Like, okay, 2 minutes to stage. We're like, yeah, cool. So I went down stage. I was like, fuck. I was next to stage was like 500 people. That was like, whoa. I didn't expect that, but it was really well. It was. I still remember that. It was a really nice gig.
Yeah, really well received, as they say.
Yeah. People bought a lot of merch at that night, like a lot from me. People after the say or after the gig came to me and say thank you, like they're really enjoying it. It was like, wow, that's mad. That's good, you know. But it felt really good. Like
Yeah,
yeah, I was a bit scared, but I don't know. Just I was really comfortable playing that gig.
yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm here.
Could you just say, you don't have to go into too depth, but just you said like that, like people saying that the band Traidora is really important, but can you just say a little bit about what it's about for you, what your songs are about? Not into going to complete depth, but just say what it's about, kind of the core of what you're trying to communicate through your song.
Mhm. I think it's the first band after the many bands I play in my life that is where I can be myself,
Right.
where I can say the thing that I'm really thinking about,
Yeah.
and when I'm saying something that I want to scream to people in their face,
Yeah.
in a good way or in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's the first band where I completely can 100% honest what I'm saying
Yeah.
and 100% feeling what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Um, it's just because the band starts a way to communicate like trans immigrant
Yeah. Yeah.
point point of view. I don't know what that means, but it's a bit like a diary as well.
Yeah.
It's a bit like this is myself, you know, like this is what I think about the world. This is about I think about this situation. And also singing Spanish in an English language country also is like it's a bit going against the what people are expecting, you know.
Yeah, of course. So there's like that, like a intrinsic relationship with the English language and domination and colonialism and all these other things. And yeah, I understand.
I just find the voice of it. I just find voice to say stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like finally, like in a completely straight way, in a completely naked way to say something. Talking about myself, you know, like talking about especially trans issues or queer issues.
Sure.
Like especially in the record that we released now, the LP.
Yeah.
It's like every song is really straightforward. What are we saying? Like there is no metaphors on it.
There's no ambiguity. You get
no,
it.
there's nothing. Maybe a couple of phrases that will be like more like poetic or something, but it's a really like direct way to say something. That's how I like the music, you know. Like for example, Los Crudos, Fan People, this band, they were like saying stuff straight away. I don't like you, you know, I don't like this.
Yeah.
That at some point for me it was really like cliche. It was like, oh, that's really obvious, you know. But in the context of being like a trans woman living in another country or being a migrant, that that kind of cliche way to say something makes sense. It's like it justifies it. It's like has a like a purpose, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Because probably a lot of people want to listen these lyrics or like feel connected with that. And that's great. It's not something I'm looking for. No, like I'm not something like, oh, I made this band to like people like follow me or whatever. It's just like I just want to say something, and then people start to gather around or like into the band.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the band started alone. That's why I started this project by myself, because I want to have total control of this at the beginning.
Yeah.
When I was alone. Now it's like, yeah, we are a band now.
Can you say a little bit how that evolved into a band?
Oh yeah, I always wanted to be a band. Like I always wanted to try to be a band. I just need to like start it. And then I invite one person I met in a gig, Lynn, the guitar. So we met in a gig when I was playing at Testor. She came to me and was like, oh, great set. We're like, oh yeah, cool, thank you. And then we just keep in touch. I was like, oh, I have this band, you want to play guitar? She would like be like, yeah, cool. And I was like, yeah. And then another friend joined on drums. And they were like, yeah, you know, like people who go to gigs, people who know each other. And then I became friends with one person, and then this person have another friend, and then another friend. So it's like a network of punks basically in London. And yeah, that's how it was really like, it happened really natural way.
Organically, like
yeah, it was really organic. Like I was playing bass and singing for a couple of practice, but then we found a bass player, but yeah, and then it was like, yeah, you just make a band. I was like, yeah, we're a band now. You want to make a band with me? I was like, yeah, because it was, yeah, I did the first work, you know. I would start the project, start the concept, start everything. But now it's four of us working on this. And I feel really good because they like it and they love the band. And the band also is being like, more and more people knew about it.
Yeah.
That's really nice. You know, you start to connect with different communities around.
Yeah.
You know, and
the really, really good thing is because, like you said, you this thing that you started yourself, you're using it as not just, I don't want to use the word tool because that's not the right word, but it's like a honest way of expressing yourself. But now
Hmm.
you can continue to do that with other people involved. And that's a really great thing. It's like, oh, it's managed to evolve from being you to other people, but you can still have that genuine, honest expression
Yeah,
of as part of this group.
yeah. I mean, mm, yeah. Just I think it's about just being yourself. You know, like just talking, saying your real opinion, your honest point of view of things, and then everything start to happen in really organic ways. So people listen to your record, read your lyrics, like I like this. Like I want to play with her, or I want to go to her gigs or something. But also we don't like the band doesn't fit in any kind of set community
Mhm.
where you can just like really like get trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, we belong to the punk community, you know, DIY. And our sound is really fast and loud, but we can easily play a hardcore show, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Or we can easily go and play like with another type of music, like more indie, more like sludge, doom, you know. Like we are not like proper hardcore band stuff, you know. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on. Sorry, I'm interrupting you again.
Okay.
My partner is asking me for something in this room.
That's okay.
Let me check. Where is it? But yeah, it's yeah, like I say, it's basically trying not to like just put your um put you in a cage or like we're just hardcore, we're just like anarcho punks, or we are just like grindcore, or you just belong there. And I think that's Traidora is making in a really organic way. Just like go like through that. Like I've been talking with people on gigs like, oh, I never came to a punk gigs before, but I know your band because a friend told me about like, oh, you talk about queers and trans stuff, and I'm queer and trans. I never knew about like punk singing stuff here in London about this. I'm very excited. Like young people, really like people my age, you know, like a lot of people not were not interested in the music. I were more interested about the performance or the lyrics, you know. That's really cool. That's something I really enjoy when people say that. You know, like
Do you think in terms of your own experience over your lifetime, do you think that's probably one of the things that's maybe has improved in terms of DIY music and scenes? Things have progressed in some kind of way, do you think? And that's
yeah, I think it's a age thing where you just don't care if people like what you do, know,
yeah,
or you don't trying to fit in something, no. I think when you're really young, yeah, you really need um some people to accept you,
yeah,
you know. After you're 40, it's like I don't care.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I just want to play this. Like
yeah.
even people when I start playing alone, when I start playing by myself, it was like uh yeah, I was just playing guitar and drum machine. And people were like, I don't get it, you know, like but some people really like it, so like, what's this? What you playing? It's the beat? But like yeah, people trying to like put me in a box. How are you playing the beat? I was like, no, I don't have no idea. Or your band is like black metalish stuff. Like, yeah. So it was like really like open to what people wanted to believe what it was about in the sound, not in the lyrics, but it was really clear. But yeah, I think it's that. It's just like after one age, you just don't give a fuck about people, just like belong belong to a community and stuff. Hold on. But yeah, I think uh, yeah, yeah, I think I'm not sure if that answer your question about
Well,
this.
and it did. But I was thinking also in sort of, do you think in general? I mean, you've been involved in punk in different ways over the years, in Chile, in Poland, in the UK. Do you think things have got progressively better, improved in some kinds of ways in terms of the scenes that you've seen around you, or do you think things have not changed much? I'm just thinking in terms of just how things have they become more progressive, do you think, or people become
Mm,
a bit more open, or do you think things have kind of stayed the same?
mm. I think it's became a bit more progressive in some issues. Like I don't think this band could exist in Chile like 20 years ago or like 30 years ago. Like dressing sometimes the way we dress on stage or we behave or like I don't think that's gonna work could work like that or it may even here.
Hmm.
Like 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. I hear stories about like Latin punk bands coming here like 10 or 15 years ago and people in punk gigs being like homophobic or like racist even like so but yeah that thing is is yeah is there is a progression of how it's more accept that in a certain community but still you can find like transphobic homophobic people into the punk community or like people who like you can't trust on them because they're like yeah racist
Hmm.
like in a really subtle way of homophobia and transphobia.
Hmm.
I think that it's more accepted, but I would say it's more included.
Hmm. Okay, I
You know,
understand. Yeah.
um, especially the issue with queers and trans.
Hmm.
Like because most of our gigs we play, we trying to give space to other trans bands as well, queers, because we know that like yeah, there's like a transphobia that's still like in the hardcore punk community. Not all of that, but
Yeah.
there's something really like that. And we still have experiences in gigs or like in cities where it's like transphobic like comments or something like that. So like, something are changed for good, but I think they are just a bit more hidden
Yeah.
or less people doing it
Yeah.
than before. Um, but yeah, the dynamic is quite the same, but mm, yeah.
If you was to say for younger people who are kind of getting involved in these sort of alternative DIY spaces, particularly punk.
Hmm.
We spoke a little bit about this, but I don't know, growing up for a lot of us, we can be quite suffer from our own kind of mental health challenges like anxiety, all kinds of a whole range of different kinds of things. But a big part of that for a lot of people is feeling very sort of self-conscious, and inhibited and
Mm.
self-judgmental. Even though like in the DIY punk scene it's meant to be accepting, we can still go into those spaces and feel not good enough or, feel that you have to fit into a particular role. What would you have any advice for any people maybe who's in that experience, in having those experiences, younger people, based upon your own life? What kind of advice would you give?
Oh,
I mean, you already did in a way. You said when you get older, you don't give a fuck.
yeah, but yeah, I think for, and I think I'm sure about it, but at some point, everything we do in the punk community is pointless. At some point, no. Like, what are we doing when we play? We just play music for the same people, for people who think about the same. We play music for people who have the same opinion like us. So
Yeah,
that's really pointless
yeah,
most of the time,
yeah,
you know. But for me, it's the moment when you connect with someone, you know.
yeah,
That's like make a big difference between like the DIY community. I wouldn't say just punk. It's just a DIY underground community, political
yeah,
DIY underground community to like another community.
yeah,
When we just connect ourselves and create like a collective, put a benefit gig to help people from Palestine, Sudan, or help our mates that need help with hair trans surgery or with a passport application or something.
yeah, yeah.
I think when that plus happen, I think that's worth it to be part of something and to keep going with it.
Yeah.
But when it's just for the love of music, it's just like, it's a bit boring, you know.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's a bit tedious, you know. It's like where I'm doing this. For sure, you can do it because you're enjoying it. It's fine, you know.
I mean, the
But
biggest.
it's not for me. You know, it's not that the way I see things. It's
I
quite
think,
cliche to say like the music can be a tool or something, but the music we play, yeah, it can be a really good tool. Like that's probably one of the things that happened now with Traidora. It's just like we started to connect with people around Europe, around South America, around Japan, because we really clear what we're saying or where we're coming from where we're saying these things, because we are trans, we're queer. Some of us have family from second generation migrants or third generation migrants. And it's really clear where we stand for. And I think that's something about Traidora I really, really love is that being clear who we are.
yeah,
I don't know where we're going, but but I'm really sure where we are now and what we think is wrong, what we think is bad.
yeah.
You know, so
Well, we've been
yeah, I think
talking.
that's the vibe. I think someone asked me like a few months ago, someone asked me, "Oh, I want to play in a punk band or something. Like, how can I be part of your band? Like playing bands? Like," she asked me like, "How can I be like part of the punk community and stuff?" And I was like, "Just go to gigs. I don't want to be like that meme, like go to gigs, start a distro, support your local bands. Like, and I just go to gigs and make friends,
Yeah.
just talk with people, like just sit and talk with someone. It's like just make friends. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a network of friends. You know,
Well, that's one thing that's been reoccurring across the interviews is people say it's the connection with other people. Yeah, the music's all great and stuff, and I might have got into it for this reason at the start and this and that, but the enduring thing is the connections, the networks that people have, and also feeling that you're having connections and networks with people that might share at least some similar ideas and values as yourself, and you
yeah,
can feel comfortable and safe around those people. I think that for me has always been a big thing, and I just that's for me a really big thing, just to continue being with people that I like being around. The music's
yeah,
often second. If there's a band that has a good message or something that's saying something different, like you are doing, that's great. But otherwise, it's it's all about the people for me.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just a bit going back to the beginning of these conversations, like when my parents were just having fun with the music around. As you know, the people were just having fun, just to have fun. But then I
Exactly.
started making friends because of music. Most of my friends from at this point in my life because I met them through music, like or playing a band or like playing another band I went to see. I'm also my friend now. Yeah, it's because music connect. to us, like in some way,
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, you know, like not just punk. I mean, punk is just the music most of us like, which I think go a bit more more beyond that. Like,
Of course, of course. So to finish off,
mhm.
this is what I've been trying to do so far in the interviews, but is there, if you had to pick two old bands or two old records that you really, really like, what would they be? And then maybe pick two new recent bands or releases that you really like. And it doesn't have to be punk, it could be anything
Mm.
that you maybe think, oh, people should listen to this, or, you know.
Yeah, I think the first, and I'm gonna say again, and we play a song of Los Crudos.
Sure.
I think not every person would be good. Listen to that discography with the lyrics translated to English. I think that there's a lot there. That one of the band I would say, and another band. Oh, I don't know. I think what one band, another band, like important band, like to listen, and is like kind of like make me think more about performance on stage. Was this band Catharsis
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
from States?
Yeah.
I never saw them live, and I think Terry and I are playing Europe some, but I saw some videos and I read about them. I was like, this band is great. This band
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah.
it's really performance, you know, like even the how he sing and the way of his lyrics are the word he used is really more poetic. It was really politics. It's really political. I think that was really a really important band for myself as well. Like this mix of like kind of epic kind of music and metaphorical kind of dreamy lyrics but connect with political issues. So good. Yeah. And from now, oh, I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard question.
What you're listening
Oh my
to.
god. What I'm listening to now. I was listening to Alan Vega. You know Alan Vega from Suicide.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He started like after Suicide, he started like a solo career. And he's just him, just making everything. Yeah, he was really cool. He's a really artistic kind of person as well. He was doing painting, sculpture, stuff, like everything. And his music is really niche, kind of like made with a drum machine as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, kind of rock and roll. It's really, really nice. And I've been listening a lot. Always been a fan of like ambient music.
Yeah.
So I would listen a lot of like music from Japan, ambient
Okay.
Japanese artists. And there is a box set. Can't remember the name. I have it here. If you wait for me 1 second, I can find it. Let me check. Hold on. Back. I guess this one is really good. This one. Let's see if you can see that.
Kyo Ongaku.
It's a Japanese ambient, environmental, and new age music from 1980 to 1990.
Amazing. Something different.
It's like 3 records, 3
Perfect.
LP, so beautiful. I think it's online in YouTube to listen. I managed to get a copy.
Excellent.
This music is amazing. It's just people playing music that they love, and it's really nice. I'm really into drone and ambient music as well.
Yeah. You really like
Yeah,
drone.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I have a couple of records out, and we're gonna release a record now on CD in next week actually.
What's that? What name's that under?
Hold on, let me see if I got a copy. So it is. I work I collaborate with Eve Libertine from CRASS.
Hmm.
So I play guitar and make like a drum stuff, and we're gonna release this one.
Eve Libertine, Eva LeBlanc.
Yeah.
I can't see the bottom text. Uh,
Live at the horse hospital.
Perfect, amazing.
Yeah. This is like kind of drone ambient noise.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a performance we did a year and a half ago, and now it's coming to CD next week.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm really big fan of like all this ambient
Yeah,
drone
yeah,
musician.
brilliant.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to press stop now, I think.
Yep.